Liverpool sold it for a bag of rice last week. I can't believe it, man. Seriously. Arsenal again are the front runners in the Premier League. They are top of the league, and if they win the rest of the games, they're going to be champions. I cannot believe Liverpool did that to me last week, man. Cannot believe it. Literally sat here just pondering life right now. Anyway, we'll get into last week's fixtures. We'll start at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 2, Manchester City 4. Kevin De Bruyne was absolutely cooking and on fire. Palace didn't really have an answer for them, even though they did take the lead through Mateta. But it was the result that I expected Manchester City to have. Manchester City are the best team in the league, and there's a reason for that. They can literally adapt to any way they want and see fit. They can play with a false nine. They can play with a double pivot in the midfield and control the entire game. They can play with Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, monopolising all the space in and around the box areas. And Rodri will just literally run the show from the midfield. They can drop Bernardo Silva back next to Rodri. So many different variations of some of their facets of football. And yeah, they're brilliant to watch. 4-2 winners for Manchester City last week at Selhurst Park. Wolverhampton 1, West Ham 2. I think the steam is starting to roll out of Wolverhampton at this time. West Ham were a good account of themselves last week. I thought West Ham were really, really good. Not so much on Thursday, unfortunately, but I thought West Ham were really, really good last week at Wolves. Molyneux, very, very tough place to go. Not many teams go there and get a result. But as I mentioned before, Wolverhampton are puffing smoke at the moment. There's not much left in the tank. They are safe, obviously. They're not really going to make Europe, I don't think. Literally mid-table. West Ham obviously still pushing for Europa League places. I don't think they're going to win the Europa League this season because obviously 2-0 down Leverkusen. Yeah, it's not going to materialise for them. But a good win for them nonetheless. Having a decent couple of weeks actually, West Ham. Still sort of 7th in the league. And I do see them staying in there. They're a good enough team to do it, and David Moyes has done a brilliant job. On to the Sean Dyche derby. That was from Goodison Park. Everton 1, Burnley 0. Didn't actually see the game. No, Everton obviously got the goal in the first half, I believe it was. Burnley, for all the huffing and puffing that they do, couldn't break Everton down, and obviously got a red card for it as well. Again, didn't really see it. Didn't really watch Match of the Day either. So none the wiser with regards to that. Calvert-Lewin on the score sheet again, but it looked like a really, really boring game on that. That's what you expect from two relegations, or for the teams, to be quite honest with you. Both of them in a relegation battle at the moment. Everton deducted another couple of points as well, I believe, as well. Yeah, so that pushed them down to 16th, I believe. They were 15th before that. As for Burnley, I still see them going down. They give a good fight every week, but they just don't have the quality to stay up, and that's just what it is. Probably game of the week, Aston Villa 3, Brentford 3. Now, Aston Villa took the lead on more than one occasion in this game. Instead, ended up losing the game. Brentford were brilliant. They were really, really good. Really good. And I thought, Klaus Jensen in the midfield was actually quite decent for them. Ollie Watkins obviously on the score sheet again. For Aston Villa, scored twice. Without him, where would Aston Villa be? Jesus, I think he's got about 50% of their goals this league. I think I read 50% of their goals. I think he's got at the moment. Ollie Watkins, which is insane when you think about the amount of games he's played this season. He's on fire. Obviously, Brentford without Ivan Toney, he was obviously injured, but Burma and Vissa were brilliant, as was Jensen. Yeah, I thought Brentford gave a really, really good account of themselves. I thought Thomas Frank got the tactics spot on, and they probably should have held on at the end as well to claim all 3 points. But as it stood, a 1-1 draw, that works for me, obviously, for obvious reasons. Aston Villa now sit 5th in the league. We are 4th, and obviously we'll come into the result as to why that is. Fulham 0, Newcastle 1. That was from Craven Cottage. A little bit of a shock, that one. I thought Fulham, given their home form, obviously Muniz in form as well, I thought they'd at least get a goal. Nothing. Newcastle stifled them. Goal from Bruno Guimaraes. He seems to be doing that. He pops up with important away goals. I remember him doing it at Nottingham Forest last month as well. So yeah, he shows up when needed, especially in crunch games like that. But Newcastle, solidly resolute. Still obviously nursing a lot of injuries. I think Lascelles is out now. Obviously, my beloved go up there today at 12:30 kickoff, St James's Park for that game. But no, Newcastle I thought were really, really good. Good going forward. Obviously, Isak, Anthony Gordon all in form. Harvey Barnes, I believe, will start today as well. But I thought he was very, very good as well. Week before that, the game against Fulham, when they beat West Ham, obviously, which I did a video on as well. Craven Cottage, Kenilworth Road, Luton 2, Bournemouth 1. Another late show for Luton. They seem to do it. They keep doing it. They come up with last-minute goals all the time, and you wouldn't bet against them doing it again this weekend, to be quite honest. I know they play Manchester City, but Luton are one of those teams that are just so resolute. They never say die. Tactically, not the best. I will say that. Rob Edwards has got them playing really, really good, expansive football, and they're straight to the point. They're in your face. The football isn't pretty. It's not pretty, but they do like to get it up, and they challenge for everything. Which is what you need in this league, a little bit of grit, and they got that in abundance against Bournemouth this weekend at home. Bournemouth took the lead as well in that game, in the second half as well. And then Luton rallied back. Great goal in the second half. Who was it? Clark, I believe it was. Got the first. Another rasper from him as well. He's been doing that pretty much every time he gets the opportunity to do so. And then obviously Carlton Morris, man of the moment, their striker. Best striker for them at the moment. Yeah, he got on the score sheet again, 88th minute. Happy days for Luton Town. Luton are currently outside of the relegation zone. I think so. I think they're currently outside it at the moment. Bournemouth, obviously, very, very safe. Currently sit sort of 12th, 13th in the league at the moment. So they've got Manchester United this weekend, which obviously we are going to speak about. Brighton 0, Arsenal 3. Amex Stadium, that was the first time Brighton had lost a home game since September. And I think I remember the team that beat him. I think it was Newcastle. Battered them 5-1 or something like that. Arsenal went there and literally just chiefed them up. Put them in a spliff, put them in a blender, cooked them seriously. Brighton had no answer for them. Arsenal were really, really good, as they have been all season. And that's my only compliment I'm going to give to them at this time. But I still remain adamant they're not going to win the league. We know they're not. We saw them against Bayern Munich. That's how you play against them. That's how you play against them. They don't like it when you come at them. They don't like it. Don't try and sit off an Arsenal team. Go and play them. And Bayern Munich showed that. Brighton obviously did try to play their game, but I thought they were too pragmatic anyway. And they did come undone, and Arsenal pretty much just peppered them after that. So yeah, 3-0 win to Arsenal from the Amex. Manchester United 2, Liverpool 2, probably the most disappointing result of the weekend, all things considered. But Man United always do tend to show up in these kinds of games against Liverpool. Arsenal, they got to play there as well at Old Trafford. But yeah, I thought Manchester United were decent. Liverpool, I thought, were a bit off colour. Thought they were quite lucky to get the penalty, even though it was a penalty and you've given the referee a decision to make. You don't go to ground, especially when he's going across goal. He's literally got another 2 defenders to beat. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, what are you doing? And it just goes to show, if you make super decisions, win fucked up prizes. So that's what it was. But Man United 2, Liverpool 2, it ended. That's given the initiative to Arsenal, who are currently sat top of the league now at the moment. Liverpool had the chance to go top again, but obviously could not get it over the line with regards to winning 3 points there. Sheffield United 2, Chelsea 2. That was also on the Super Sunday. Quite shocking, actually. Chelsea went there coming off a 4-3 win against Man United at Stamford Bridge in the week, and then go to Bramall Lane and then do that. Chelsea look like relegation candidates. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know what's wrong with them this season. Chelsea are just all over the place, man. Sheffield United 2, Chelsea 2, Bramall Lane. I didn't watch the game, but from what I saw, they were not good, man. They are horrendous. They are such a horrendous team right now. Pochettino's got a big job on his hands there. Big job. Build the team around Cole Palmer. Absolutely. Mykhailo Mudryk, I don't actually like. I said Mudryk was a decent player, and I still do like him, and he will come good, I think. He's one of those players, bit of confidence about him, and then he'll be flying. He's a good player. That rest of that Chelsea team, my goodness. Enzo Fernandez, maybe you keep. Caicedo hasn't really worked. Lavio's still injured. Thiago Silva's getting on a bit. Was he 40 now? 39, 40? Amazing that what he's doing, but yeah, Chelsea need upgrades. I don't really like the Petkovic goalkeeper. I don't think he's any good. Yeah, it's one of those. Sterling is not on form. I don't think Nick Jackson is the answer. There needs to be a massive clear out. Conor Gallagher, the number is, yes, it's just all a bit of a mess over there at the moment. But 2-2 draw, good draw for Sheffield United. They've been showing real determination these last few weeks as well. They are still rooted bottom of the league, but they are trying to make a fist of it and trying to obviously to stay in this league as best as they possibly can. And they are scoring goals. I think that's the third time in 2 weeks that they scored 2 in a game. So, yeah, they're going quite well at this moment in time. Sheffield United just can't seem to keep a lead at the moment, which is obviously annoying to Chris Wilder. But I'm pretty certain he'll get it right at some point. Final game of last week, obviously, my beloved Spurs from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It was Tottenham 3, Nottingham Forest 1. Again, one half. We only play well in one half, and it's always usually the second half we come out. First half, bit drab. Obviously took the league through an own goal from Murillo. Chris Wood obviously getting the equaliser. Chris Wood then obviously hitting the post, and then obviously it was all Nottingham Forest peppering our goal from the 30th minute onwards in that first half. Second half come about, got our act together. Great goal from Mickey van der Ven. He's probably been my player of the season so far, if I'm being honest. When he's been there, he's been excellent, Mickey van der Ven. Followed by Brennan Johnson. I think he's had a really good season as well. I had my doubts about Brennan. Brennan's coming good. And then Pedro Porro got the third goal for us as well. First goal of the season. He usually pops up with a couple of assists and a goal of the season as well, so it's something I expect from him. But no, really, really good result from us. Really, really good. I don't like where we're at with the midfield at the moment. I think the midfield needs a bit of a shake-up. I think Basuma needs dropping. I think Bentancur needs to start a little bit more. And even put Højbjerg in there at the moment. Sarr and Basuma don't seem a bit tired. It's probably the best way I can say it. I think they need a bit of a rest. Give Bentancur and Højbjerg the keys for a little bit. Højbjerg, because obviously he will stick where he needs to sit. And Bentancur will obviously be the general on the ball. Him and Maddison will sort of dovetail between each other to find each other. On to this week then. Obviously I did mention a couple of fixtures. So prediction time. St James's Park, Newcastle versus Tottenham, 12:30 kickoff. That is it's a goal fest. There's always goals up there when we go up there. Both teams to score definitely, and I think we'll come out winners. I think we'll go there and win 2-1. Brentford versus Sheffield United. That is from the G-Tech Stadium. A Brentford win for me there. I think Ivan Toney will be back, and I'm going to go 2-0 win for Brentford. Manchester City versus Luton Town. That's a 3-1 Manchester City win for me. Nottingham Forest versus Wolverhampton. That is on the City ground. That will be a Nottingham Forest 2-0 win for me there. Burnley versus Brighton. That's from Turf Moor. 1-1 draw, I think. Bournemouth versus Manchester United is a late kickoff today at 5:30. Sorry, that is from the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth 2, Manchester United 2, I think. Both equally inept at keeping clean sheets. It'll definitely be a both teams scoring in that game as well. Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. Liverpool win for me all day. They need to bounce back after their shocking result last week and in the week as well. They lost 3-0 at home. Who did they lose to? Atalanta. Jesus, Liverpool, yeah. So they need to bounce back with that. So that's obviously tomorrow on the Sunday. West Ham versus Fulham, nice London derby there. West Ham, I think, will take Fulham at the London Stadium. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win to West Ham there. Arsenal versus Aston Villa is a big one, Super Sunday tomorrow. That's from the Emirates Stadium. I want to say it's going to be a 2-2 draw because Aston Villa do tend to go there and get results sometimes. They've actually been one of the most prominent teams to do it since Arsenal have moved to that stadium. I think Aston Villa were one of those teams that could cause a problem. Had a really good result midweek as well. Ollie Watkins on the score sheet again. They are without Douglas Luiz, it looks though. I'm going to say 2-1 to Arsenal. I want it to be 2-2 for obvious reasons. I do think Aston Villa are capable. It will be a great game though. It will be a really, really good game. And then Monday Night Football takes us to Stamford Bridge. That's Chelsea versus Everton. Everton don't have a hope in hell, I don't think. Chelsea are a lot better at home than they are away from home, to be quite honest. And I do see Chelsea winning that game 2-0 against Everton. That is my roundup. There is no early kickoff next week. All games will be on at 3 o'clock onwards. And then obviously I think we've got a 7:30 game on a Saturday as well, which will be Wolverhampton versus Arsenal from Molineux, which we'll obviously get to in the next week as well. Thank you for your time, people. Try to enjoy the football, and I'll speak to everyone next week.